Hello, everyone. My name is Ella Burke, and I am joined today by my colleague, Keane McGurk.
Hello.
You are very welcome to our podcast, Young Academic Minds. This podcast is showcasing different ways anxiety can affect an adult and their engagement in their education journey. There are three main chapters in this podcast. Chapter 1, Primary School Anxiety. Chapter 2, Secondary School Anxiety. Chapter 3, College Anxiety. For ethical reasons, the names of my guests will remain anonymous. Hello guests, how are we doing today?
Good, yeah, no, how are you getting on?
Good. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to do this podcast with me and for agreeing to be a guest on this podcast. So let's begin. So guest number 1, what is your earliest memory of primary school?
My first memory of primary school would have been the very first day that I went. I went to primary school very early, and it was kind of decided on very short notice. So I remember specifically that it was a bit of a surprise that I got to go.
Okay. Guest number 2, what is your earliest memory of primary school?
I'd probably say like when you're like walking into the classroom and you just see everyone in the class and you're like, oh my god, there's so many people here now.
And would you remember your first day of primary school? Guest number 2.
Probably not as much because it's like been so long ago now.
And guest number 1, do you remember how you felt on your first day of primary school?
Yeah, a lot of surprise, and not so much kind of there wasn't a lot of stress. I had my older brother with me, so I did feel like pretty safe about the whole thing. He was in the same classroom with me and everything, so it was less stressful than I think it would be if I had to go in by myself.
And guest number 2, would you remember how you would have felt on your first day of primary school?
I say I was like nervous to go in because I was always a little bit more of a nervous child.
Okay. Guest number 1, was it easy to make friends in primary school?
I would say yes, purely because there was so little people in my class that we were all kind of forced to be friends with each other. So, there was nobody left out at any point because there was only five of us. So
Perfect. And guest number 2, was it easy for you to make any friends in primary school?
Yeah, and like at the start, it definitely was. In fairness, our class was actually like a fairly big class, so we were all kind of friends at the start, really.
Perfect. And guest number 1, during your time in primary school, did you receive any support from SNA teachers or peers in primary school for any reasons?
yes, yeah, I did. It's only on looking back at it now as an adult I realize that that's what I was getting, because you don't really know when you're in primary school that that's what's going on. But yeah, so support from teachers in primary school.
And guest number 2, did you receive any support from teachers or peers when your time in primary school?
Yeah, I definitely did. I got a lot more support from like the SNAs. Especially this one SNA, her name's Miss Toft. Loved her. She was lovely. Very like good at like actually explaining things to you compared to like some of the teachers wouldn't explain it as well.
Perfect. So let's move on to chapter 2, which will be asked by my co-host Keane.
Okay, so question 1. Would you remember your first day of secondary school? Guest 1.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was basically fully grown at that point. So
And guest 2.
Yeah, I do. Remember getting the bus in. I remember going into the hall being like, oh, where am I supposed to sit? Because like the bus was like very early in. But luckily, after a while, two girls that I knew who was coming to that school, because I went to a school mainly full of boys, were there. So I was good after when I got them there.
Okay, so question 2. Were you nervous on your first day of secondary school? Guest 1.
on my very first day, I wasn't nervous. I was more excited, I'd say, because I'd been to the like open days that were on, and I was very excited about this new thing of becoming as I thought, a 12-year-old adult, and getting to go to the big school and stuff like that. So not on my first day.
Okay, and question 3. How did you find the transfer from primary school to secondary school? Guest 1.
It was tough, yeah. I mean, you go from being the biggest and the most grown up to being the baby very quickly. Um, like when you're in secondary school, there are lads in sixth class or sixth year who are like 18, 19, they have cars, they have jobs, they go drinking and they're adults. And then there's me who, you know, just learned most of the words I would use for the rest of my life. So it's pretty tough.
Okay, and guess two.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, definitely when you were there in first year, you're like, oh my god, this is like so much like different. The work wise, even you're like, I didn't realize I'm gonna get all this work. And then yeah, especially when you were walking in the school, all the big lads, because like when you're going in there, 'cause it's mostly lads who are there, and you're just like a small little kind of child because you're only like 13. Like, geez, didn't realize all this was gonna happen.
Okay, so the next question is: did your friend circle change much while in secondary school? Guessed one.
It did, yeah. There was only not all of the people. So I went to an all boys secondary school initially. So there were only 5 other people in my class in primary school. So half of them were girls. They didn't go. Half of the boys went to a different school. So it was like there was just me and another lad. So initially it was very small. There was, it was a big drop in the amount of people.
The next question is: did you make any new friends while in secondary school? Guessed one.
I did, yeah, not as many as I would like, I'd say, looking back, but it definitely made some new friends. It's different because, you're all coming, like, there are some people who are coming from, say, schools with larger classes and they already have their groups, and it's tough to kind of uh, meld into that. But there were some other people who came from smaller schools that only had like 1 or 2 other people coming to the school, so.
Okay, and guessed two.
Yeah, definitely. Throughout like the years, especially in fourth year, there was more people who like transferred to our school. So then, kind of got to make more new friends when they came in as well.
Question 6: how did you find exams in general in secondary school? Guessed one.
I mean, they're tough. They're a big change from what you have in primary school. I mean, we did our standardized like junior cert and leaving cert, and that was completely different. And even like the Christmas tests, where you're all put into a big room and not allowed to talk, is completely different to what we were doing in primary school. So it's like a big step up, and that can be quite nerve-wracking.
Okay, guessed two.
Yeah, the exams were completely different, but I also, because I'm dyslexia, I was even a reader. So I would actually be like in a separate room doing the exam. So I found that very much helped when doing the exams.
And the final question for this section is: was there any support for exams or in general in secondary school available? Guessed one.
Not really, not for me. I went to an all boys school, and a lot of the teachers were much older, and they weren't really into the whole, looking after the mental health of students.
So now I'll pass it over to Ella.
So now we'll move on to our third and final chapter in the podcast. So guess number 1. Would you remember your first day of college?
Yes, yeah, it was like a big step. That's again, it was one of these things where I thought I was becoming an adult. So I kind of very much remember it. The just walking around the campus and thinking, it's great to be a human adult, able to do whatever I wanted. I can go over here if I want, or I don't have to.
And guess number 2. Would you remember your first day of college?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I remember having to get the bus first and everything, and I was like, new place, because I was like, I'm coming from the countryside, so it was all up in the city, so it's so different for me.
Guess number 1. How did you find the transition from secondary school to college in terms of the schedule and the environment?
Well, in terms of schedule, I found that I was terrible at maintaining my own schedule. If I was under the impression I didn't have to go and do something, I wouldn't. So I ended up like not going to a lot of my lectures the first half of the year until I realized that what a terrible idea that was. Environments, it was so strange to be like I was in class with people who were 20 years older than me and stuff, and they're talking to me like a peer. So it was very strange. Again, it's this thing of going from being the biggest and the oldest to suddenly being a little baby in the new environment.
Right. And guess number 2. How did you find the transition from secondary school to college in terms of schedule and environments?
Yeah, schedule, because I went to a PLC college, it was like kind of a mixture between college and secondary school. So it wasn't too bad compared to like if I went to just like a normal college. And the lecturers weren't too bad because they're like mostly in like kind of classrooms as well. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, this isn't actually too bad to like kind of wrap your head around it.
Perfect. And guess number 1, were you nervous or excited for your new college life experience?
Excited, big time excited. Going to go and live in the big city and able to um, live by myself in a house with 9 other people, but go live by myself and yeah, embark on a new aspect of my life. It was very exciting.
And guess number 2, were you nervous or excited for your new college life experience?
Yeah, I'd say it was a bit of both because obviously completely new, completely different. I would have to get the bus every day, so and I was like took around an hour, so I was like, oh my god, going to a new place, yay!
Perfect. And guess number 1, did you get along with the people in your course?
A lot of them, yes, yeah. My course was famous for having a lot of attrition, so there was actually a lot of turnover. Every year we started, there'd be a whole batch of new people who were repeating the year before. So it was difficult to kind of have a college group in that situation because lots of the people you're friends with might not make it to the next year or might drop out and stuff. But yes, I did get along with the people in my course.
And guess number 2, did you get along with people in your course?
Yeah, I got along with like most of the people in the course. I remember the first day. It was actually kind of just like an introduction day, so it was kind of like they made it out to like make you kind of become friends with actually the people in your course. And because our course, because the PLC one was a bit smaller, of like there wasn't like hundreds of people. I think there was maybe like 25 people. It made it a lot easier to like become kind of friends with them.
And guess number 1, were you able to make new friends in college or did you have a similar friend group to your secondary school?
But when I went up there initially, it was a lot of hanging out with the same people, like the people who were in the same college as me from my course. We meet up all the time. But no, I did. I made a lot of new friends that I only met when I was in college. I married one of them, and then yeah, so it was good.
And guess number 2, were you able to make any new friends in college?
Yeah, I was. Well, the first day I went up there, I was like, I still had one of my friends from secondary school, but she was just doing a different course. So I was friends with her, but then obviously we didn't ever see each other that much. So it was actually easy enough to make friends with the girls in the course because it was mostly girls in our course.
Perfect. And guess number 1, did you join any societies or club in college? And if so, did they help you to adjust to college life?
Yes, I did join societies and clubs, and I would recommend anybody who would go to a college to do so. Um, I joined a bunch of them. I only kind of really ended up doing anything with 2 of them, but they did help in that. That's where I actually met a lot of the friends I made in college, and I'm still friends with right now. So it does help to have a community that you can hang out with, and also yeah, something to do each week and ways to meet new people. It's great.
And guess number 2, did you join any societies or clubs in college? And if so, did they help you adjust your college life?
In our college, because it was PLC college, they didn't really have any, but because all the kind of courses were small, like kind of like amounts of people in them, it was still very easy to like get along with everyone.
Okay. And guess number 1, was there a difference from the exams in secondary school to the exams or assignments in college?
Yeah, massive ones. It was one of the main problems with my course actually was the fact that it's a computer based, like it's a computer course, but they made us do all of our exams written out, so they were terrible. And yeah, they were something completely different, and they were very stressful and it was the cause of a lot of people like dropping out of the course.
And guess number 2, was there a difference from exams in secondary school to the exams or assignments in college for you?
For this course, it was mostly based off of like assignments of like where you'd get like your grades from. So the actual exams were like very, very little, but they were just like you're in just a big hall kind of doing the exam. I felt like it wasn't too bad compared to like secondary school.
And guess number 1, was there any support available from the college to help you with exams or assignments?
Nothing of note. It was pretty bad. It has since been completely changed, but at the time I went, it was very bad.
And guess number 2, was there any support available from the college to help with exams or assignments for you?
There was a bit, but it was kind of like hard to get it. They wouldn't really like offer it that much.
Okay. We have one final question just to conclude the whole podcast. So guess number 1, what advice would you give to your younger self knowing what you know now?
I would probably say that help is there if you look for it, so you should look for it because it's always handy to have help. So it is worth looking for because it's worth getting once you look for it.
And guest number 2, what advice would you give to your younger self knowing what you know now?
I'd probably say kind of like speak up for yourself more because I was like fairly quiet. So I kind of like speak up more, like go towards the people and actually talk to them instead of just like kind of just standing back.
Perfect. So thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Young Academic Minds. I'd also like to thank our guests for sharing their stories. I hope you've learned something new about how adults experience anxiety through the different stages of their educational life.